It's me again, Irene at INCWorks, and this time I'm assembling a self-curated Fall Feels watercolor palette. I'll explain further, but first, a quick rundown of the tools and supplies at play. Artist Loft cold-press cellulose watercolor paper, which I cut down for quick and easy color swatching. A half-inch stroke brush from Princeton's Aqua Elite series. It has synthetic Kolinsky sable hairs. The watercolor paints are from various brands, mostly M. Graham, Daniel Smith, and Da Vinci, but also a few from Holbein, Core, Sennelier, Schmincke, and Winsor & Newton. The color on my nails is military green from Clean Color Nail Lacquer. In this video, I show the process of selecting the colors I wanted to include. Since my individual handmade swatch cards are currently in a jumbled mess, don't ask, I did a fast and dirty swatching session here, which isn't all that fast actually. Even at double speed, it takes up about 6 minutes of runtime, and not very dirty either, because I rinsed well between each color. So I don't know why I said fast and dirty, unless I was subconsciously trying to tantalize you with provocative phrasing, because I would never do that on purpose. My collection of watercolors consists of both pans that were factory poured and pans that were filled from tubes. For the purposes of this project, I'm focusing on the pans filled from tubes. That's because I'll need to pour the selected paints into half pans that will then be placed into a hinged metal tin. The majority of my tube paints are represented here in this drawer. In an effort to keep things uncomplicated, I decided to select colors from this drawer only. That eliminated the specialty colors in a second drawer. It also meant I couldn't include any of my Mission Gold colors, which are contained in their own box. But that's okay, because I have special plans for that set at a later date. With as much as I adore autumn, it made sense to assemble some of my favorite colors to create a seasonal palette. One I could turn to when I want an easy way to get the autumnal look I crave, and that's why I'm calling it the INCWorks Fall Feels Watercolor Palette. But I am not an expert. There are no guarantees that the assortment I come up with won't have hidden pitfalls, such as being too brown heavy or lacking good overall mixability. I'm not Dr. Otto Kano. Heck, I'm not even Otto the school bus driver. He knew how to coordinate a pink shirt. The point is, pans are switchable. If I regret certain choices, I can change them later. You might be wondering, but Irene, how do you know which color is which? You didn't take names. And that's true. I did not want to spend time writing down all the colors' name and brand info. That's why the pans are arranged so neatly in their sections. And the swatch sheets have faint guidelines to ensure that when I chose the colors I liked on the sheet, I could accurately locate it in the drawer. See? I was thinking ahead. You've probably noticed that in each section, the colors are only loosely organized, meaning, for example, all the oranges and reds are in section 2, but the warm and cool versions are fraternizing with each other. Hey, on any given day, there's only a 30% chance that my socks will match. If it's even a sock day, that is. There's a reason why producer Mike once complained, Some women have a shoe problem. You have a slipper problem. Looking at all of those reds reminds me that back in the day, maybe 40 years ago, it seemed like most nail polish was in shades of red and pink. I could be misremembering. I was a chronic nail biter after all, and didn't paint my nails until late in life. I like to watch Kelly Marissa's channel. She shows the latest nail polish collections. Yes, collections, like in fashion design. It's often the same old colors, just recycled and renamed for the new season. The brands she covers are too rich for my blood. You know, more than $5 a bottle. But I like to watch good swatch porn, whether it's watercolors or nail lacquer. I skipped the center section and moved on to the purples, blues, and turquoises. But don't worry, those center pans, which are mostly neutrals, grays, and blacks, will get fast and dirtied later on. So during this whole process, I was thinking to myself, what sorts of things would I want to paint with a Fall Feels palette? Probably the usual stuff: leaves, pumpkins, witches, headstones, etc. But I was also thinking of colors that just make me feel autumnal. Rich gold, dark brown, deep green, harvest orange, intense purple, and a good mixing blue. Perhaps a warm neutral as well. I've got to admit, the blues were super difficult to choose. I couldn't remember all the qualities that differentiate them. Although I don't really think of blue as a fall color, I knew that a palette without it would be too limiting. And while I did include a number of convenience colors, I also need to be able to mix other greens and purples after all. Sure, I wanted all the greens, but I restrained myself. But now, let me ask you a question. What are your favorite fall colors? For arting, yes, but also in general. I expect the color most associated with the season may be orange. Unfortunately, that is not a color I can wear well. Case in point, the photo I shared under the Community tab, the one of me wearing an orange mummy t-shirt for Halloween, because it was definitely the color that was unflattering, and not the fact that I was stuffing my mouth with dessert. So for wearable items, I tend toward purple and brown. They hide food stains better. For the selection process, I simply marked the color swatch I liked, then pulled that color's pan from the drawer. Or sometimes it was the other way around. For those who may be curious about this drawer, it's from my wooden art storage chest. You can see it in a previous video from January 2021. Well, actually, there are two videos. The first was the unboxing, and the second was a follow-up 8 months later to show how I was using it. If excessive drawer action is your thing, see the description for those links. By the end of this video, I had chosen 14 colors for the Fall Feels palette, but afterward, off camera, I added several more, because the tin can hold a total of 17 half pans. The next video will show either the pouring of the paints and the making of the swatch chart, or painting using only colors from my Fall Feels palette. I'm undecided on the order at this point. Part of me, heretofore repressed evil part, wanted to wait until then to reveal the color names and brands. But if somebody tried pulling that move on me, I'd probably unsubscribe. So I'm going to read the list to you now. 7 from M. Graham. Azo Yellow, Nickel Quinacridone Gold, Quinacridone Rust, Azo Orange, Permanent Alizarin Crimson, Maroon Perylene, and Quinacridone Violet. 5 from Vinci, Hansa Yellow Deep, Raw Umber, Ultramarine Blue, Phthalo Green, and Sap Green. 3 from Daniel Smith, Pyrrol Scarlet, Carbazole Violet, and Joseph Z Warm Gray. 1 from Sennelier, Blue Indanthrone, and 1 from Schmincke, Perylene Green. I'm happy to share this, the first video in a 3-part series covering my first self-curated seasonal watercolor palette. And I'm wondering if this collection of colors might appeal to someone else, possibly somebody watching right now. Who knows? This could lead to one of those giveaway things I've heard about. Oh my. So keep your eyes open for the next 2 installments of the INCWorks Feel Falls watercolor palette. Until next time, enjoy it while you can. And boy, that sounded vaguely threatening. I meant the season. Enjoy the season. You know, because it goes by so fast. And gosh darn it, stay artsy, my friends.